We are getting closer to the start of Season 7, and I haven't really taken the time to go over more details on my thoughts for the new and possibly final season. A second developer letter has dropped and we basically got very little info out of it. If anything, it was more of a tier list for the most used jutsu and ultimates in each class, because that helps us greatly. I mean, it shows the lack of any decent jutsu for range in a long time, so I will give it that. So in this video, I want to take the time to go over some new confirmed details, as well as my suggestions and predictions for the new Menace themed season. Let's kick things off with the new confirmed weapons from the Naruto99 picture. I talked about this in my first video covering the first letter and had my predictions on the weapons those two are holding. I got one of them right at least, with the axe that Sakura is holding, which is going to be a healer weapon with Sakura-style taijutsu, which only has a single kick in the video. See, even the developers know Sakura is trash and only include just enough to represent the character holding it. The second item is Shisui's spear. This one threw everyone for a bit of a loop because those two kinda implies a specific pair of people, more likely people with a sort of connection. So why Shisui? And why a spear for a Susanoo? Especially one that isn't even canon. I mean, some of the combos do look nice and there are some teleports to represent Shisui, but this one doesn't really feel right. Plus, as an attack weapon, I know everyone's gonna run this for a while. That's all that was confirmed in the last developer letter, so let's talk about the special Jutsu DLC, which has a theme of the previous Kage in the series. Recently, we got the Steam Imp, which is a range ultimate from the second Mizukage. Along with this, we can tell from the files added in the game, as well as the Kaguya reveal trailer, that the second Tsuchikage's particle-style pillar will be the next one added, which is a normal heal class jutsu. So that makes 4 jutsu confirmed or released, which includes the third Raikage's one-finger thrust for attack, and the second Okage's flying Raijin slice for range. With only 2 DLC left, and 1 class being left out, it's a safe bet to see at least 1 defense class DLC, and I think I have a good idea for what it can be. Gaara's father, the 4th Kazekage, was able to cause his gold sand to become a sort of tidal wave, which is nothing entirely new since Gaara can do the same. However, when Gaara and his father both did this move at the same time, the gold was much heavier than the sand and overtook the current Kazekage's weight. So I think a good idea for this jutsu would be if it acts like mud wall and creates a high structure that blocks attacks while also having it move towards opponents and attack them. This could even be scaled up to be a defense class ultimate to replicate the massive size that it actually was. For the final jutsu prediction, I would want to choose a more obscure option from the 3rd Hokage. He is known as the Professor due to his vast knowledge and experience with all forms of jutsu, but he was also known to use shuriken a lot in combat, both normal-sized and the much larger Fuma shuriken. The dude even somehow used roof tiles in the same way. So I feel for a range class jutsu, he can launch a single shuriken that transforms into several as they get close to the target. Maybe if you charge the jutsu, these shuriken can become the larger Fuma shuriken instead and deal more damage. But enough about these one-off jutsu DLC, because I know you guys want my opinion on what sort of characters would join the game for this season. Before that though, I'm gonna give an opinion on something that relates to the choices, and it is important. This season should go one of 2 ways in order to remain somewhat balanced and spice things up. Option number 1 is that this season only has 2 classes per characters, being range and defense. Since the devs want to improve range class and make it more viable, they would have 2 DLC released this season, which makes up for the lack of anything good for them in the last season. Healers got a season pass ultimate, a character, and a future jutsu and weapon coming. They don't need to add on more for what I believe is the 2nd strongest class in the game. And as for the attack class, you already have a spear coming. Go play with your new toy and be the broken class we already know you are. They need absolutely nothing big this season. Option 2 is to give up a range class DLC slot and put either a healer or an attack class in its place. I'd prefer a healer here and the attack class just get a season pass ultimate while the other 2 remain defense and range class DLC characters, but in reality, I would strongly prefer the first choice. As for predictions, I hear a lot of people mention Danzo, and he could really fit well this season. He used a lot of range-based wind style techniques, which would be great to have more of since they now have anti-heal capabilities. Along with this, he also did have the Izanagi technique thanks to the 10 Sharingan in his arm. If you guys want a DLC concept video for this character, let me know in the comments, but for now, I would want to put him as a range character, and I feel he would make a great addition to the game. My second prediction is more of a want than an actual prediction. I made 2 videos on Kakuzu and Hidan, both of which could work really well for the game right now. I went into a lot of detail for each one, going over their jutsu, their ultimates, and their VR training rewards. If you haven't had a chance to see those videos, then I strongly urge you to do so. It's tough to pick which one I would want for the season, but at least both characters can go along with my first option for character classes, either by being the only defense DLC or the second range class DLC. The third one is more fan service than anything. Everyone is practically begging for Momoshiki to be added in. However, since I haven't watched Boruto, I can't tell you guys how they would be represented in this game. Either it sticks with my first option, either being range or defense, which would then determine what the second character would be between Hidan and Kakuzu, or it would go the route of my second earlier option and is the only heal or attack class DLC, meaning that Hidan would be forced to fill the defense role by default. Or I could just say screw it and not have Momoshiki at all, putting both the zombie duo in as the other 2 characters instead. That would be my dream. I know I went away from predictions and more towards my own wishes at the end, but I mean, come on, we don't have to wait that long for the next season. Either we get started with the character this month in October, or we wait until November since we do have the files for the particle style pillar already added into the game. It's only a matter of time before we experience what may be the end of Shinobi Striker. So strap in and be ready, people, because it's going to be a fun ride. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on the bell so you'll always be notified anytime I upload. Also, make sure to submit your clips for the Shinobi Striker Top 10 series, co-hosted with Topa. And for the content creators who want to be involved as a special guest host for the series, feel free to reach out. We definitely would love to have you. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, the next stream, whatever it may be. Peace out!